am committing a cardinal sin. Somebody call Ray Fiennes because I'm going to need a conclave here. I apologize in advance for not getting the trade details fully out there and available, but I do have plans later tonight, and I would rather make a video just talking about the main idea about this trade, bearing any significant additions on the Edmonton point of view. So, let's dive into one of the best defensemen on the San Jose Sharks this year, if not the absolute best defenseman on the team, Jake Walman. Because, as it was tweeted out earlier this evening by David Pagnotta, the Sharks and the Oilers have been working on a trade involving Jake Walman. We will see if it gets over the finish line. This was tweeted about an hour ago. Pagnotta then said just a few minutes after, saying that Walman has been informed he's being traded to Edmonton. There might be a small caveat that holds it up, but assuming that's smoothed out, this deal should get finalized. Now, just to get everything out of the way, to get the context and the setup out there too, let's dive into this tweet. Because not only did Elliotte Friedman go out there and say, hey, this trade idea is moving along, the pride of Armor Heights is going over to Edmonton, there also was commentary by Frank Seravalli about 10 minutes ago. It sounds like the Oilers have some roster constraints with today's lineup, and rosters expanding after midnight tonight. So, Edmonton is on their way to completing a deal to acquire Walman, but it may be some time before they can complete/announce it. So with this in mind, I feel comfortable going out there and just making a regular old video commentary about Jake Walman, the player, and about his acquisition by the Edmonton Oilers. Will the conversation change once we actually figure out what trade details are involved? Absolutely. Could the entire narrative of this discussion change, whether or not the Edmonton Oilers overpay for Walman or not? Again, absolutely. That is definitely possible here. It's just, I'm kind of a busy guy, and I might not have time to go out there and make another video about Jake Walman and be able to wait until we have the details. So I'll say this right at the beginning of the video. I don't want to pull a Frank Seravalli on y'all, but I might have to. We're not going to be talking about any of the extra assets, any of the picks or the prospects or whatever that might be swapped around in this trade. We're just going to talk about Walman and the Oilers, because this season Jake Walman has proved to everybody, especially Steve Yzerman, that he was a lot more valuable than he might have been perceived to have been. Take a look at this. He was a St. Louis Blues guy, had some games played and some points here and there, but last year with the Red Wings he had 21 points in 63 games played, including 12 goals. Walman hit the gritty multiple times after scoring in overtime. He was a really flamboyant, goal celebratory character. Obviously, on the microphone and in the media, he was just a normal guy, but the fact that he would do the gritty dance made him quite the celebrity in Detroit. He's only making $3.4 million a year till the end of next season. And with the Detroit Red Wings sending Walman over to San Jose, essentially paying San Jose to take this guy, that was a move that got a lot of Wings fans scratching their heads. Hey, Stevie Y, what the hell are you doing? Why are you trading Walman, firstly, to San Jose, and secondly, why are you paying assets to trade him away? The Sharks acquired Walman and a second for future considerations. The Red Wings could have just waived Walman, and they probably would have gotten him off of their roster in that way. There was no reason at all to trade this guy with the second for nothing. So that trade was seen by many folks as just a big mind-scratching, head-boggling situation for the Detroit Red Wings. Like, why would Steve Yzerman do that? Now, Jake Walman, you look at the numbers here, in 2024-2025, he had 50 games played in 32 points, 6 goals, 26 assists, on pace for 44 points in 69 games. He did miss some time with injury this season. He was by far and away the best defenseman on the San Jose Sharks. So seeing him be given all the power play time and just get paired alongside of other guys in San Jose that were trying to get their numbers up, the Tyler Toffoli's, the Fabian Zetterlands, the Mikael Granlunds of the world. We saw San Jose actually deliver a pretty reasonably entertaining product, especially with the younger guys, Eklund, Will Smith, Macklin, Celebrini. A lot of these players certainly were carrying their weight that was expected of them, and Jake Walman was able to come along for the ride as the number one D-man. Now, sure, it's not like he's a true bona fide number one D-man. I don't think he's going to be getting 27 and 26-minute games in the Edmonton Oilers organization, but in San Jose, he was proving that he is capable of doing that, and so heading over to the Oilers, assuming nobody significant on their player roster ends up going over to San Jose, this is kind of what you're looking at here. So if you head over to some of the replies, I think there are folks that are talking about what the team could look like. Here you go. Cassian is the GOAT went out there and said this, that you have Bouchard, Ekholm, Darnell Nurse, Jake Walman, Brett Kulak, and Ty Emberson. The Oilers now have the best defense in the NHL. Do you hear that? That's the garbage truck outside. You know why the garbage truck is outside? Because this is kind of a garbage take. Okay, oh, what a setup. Yeah, the garbage truck is outside. I'm not going to edit that out. I apologize. But I'm not saying this is like garbage. It's definitely not the worst decor in the league. It's a lot better than without Jake Walman. If you have just Bouchard, Ekholm, Nurse, and then you have Emberson, Kulak, and I guess Troy Stetcher if you wanted to throw him in there, Walman is a huge upgrade. So obviously there is value there if you assume that none of these other five guys get traded over to San Jose in the Walman acquisition. Again, we're waiting on the details. We might have to wait a whole day for the actual details to go through on this Walman trade. There have been prospects discussed, picks discussed, whether or not there could be some sort of a meaningful piece heading over to San Jose, or if there's just going to be some sort of a regular prospect, a guy that's not really all too significant. I mean, there were some other conversations going around here. Take a look at this, Golden Arrow Hockey. Walman is a legit top pair D. This edition is at least on par with the Ekholm ad in 2023, in my opinion. Just very curious on the return. Walman has an 83 percentile wins above replacement number, 98 percentile on goals, 97 percentile on power play, 92 percentile on finishing. He's an offensive machine, whose overall defensive metric took a really big hit this season after having a strong 2022-2023. But that's what happens when you're on the San Jose Sharks. I mean, the team isn't great defensively, so who's going to go out there and blame Jake Walman for having bad defensive analytics? At the end of the day, though, this is a very good ad for the Edmonton Oilers. I've always been a fan of Walman, especially after his time in Detroit. There have been rumors about a first-round pick heading over to San Jose, whether or not there's another prospect that's not too significant there. We have heard, apparently, that it's not going to be one of the better Edmonton prospects heading over, assuming this trade goes through in the ways that we are expecting it to. So for now, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens with the Oilers, but for this video, we are just talking about Walman over to Edmonton. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Pride of Armor Heights heading over to the Oil. We'll wait and see as to what happens when the full trade details get released, but for now, just the basic ideas all we're covering. Let me know in the comment section what do you think. I hope you enjoyed this video. 9 and bye.